What's going on, everybody? Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and I want to give a shout out to Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool that is sponsoring today's Giants Now live episode. You can get started with them today with a 14-day free trial to protect yourself and your family members online. Zero cost, 14 days for free. All you got to do is go to aura.com/chatsports. Look, we do more online now than ever, and Aura is going to do everything they can to help you protect your identity online. So get started today, aura.com/chatsports. In today's show, we're going to break down the latest news and rumors surrounding the New York Football Giants. We also have 2 live Q&As where I'll be answering all of your questions live. If you got a question, you can go down in the comment section and use hashtag Giants to get your questions in. And my guy, Matthew Peterson, will put the best ones up on screen. And all Super Chats, as always, 2 shots and you're guaranteed to get on the show. But let's start today's show with some good vibes, because a Giants legend is having their birthday today, and that's Brandon Jacobs, big number 27. So I want everyone in the comment section right now to type 27, the jersey he wore with the Giants the first go-round. He wore 34 the second time and was still an okay player, but 27, that's what he's known for. And we got some pictures to scroll through, some of the best moments with Brandon Jacobs and the Giants. When he ran over LaRon Landry, he stood no chance. Landry's got big biceps, but he could not stop Brandon Jacobs. Just an absolute animal. I mean, who wants to tackle a 6'4", 260-pound running back? I'll tell you who doesn't. Charles Woodson. Remember this in the playoffs en route to a Super Bowl? FGB, F the Packers, if you want to type that. Absolutely running over Charles Woodson right here. Brandon Jacobs is a Giants legend. It's his birthday today. Let's show him some love. Type 27 in the comment section. I'll give everybody a shout out. King Wolf, one of the most faithful subs we got. What's up, man? Chaz in the chat. Christopher King. Fred's in the chat. What up, Pops? 27, Brandon Jacobs, an all-time legend. We got a question about Jacobs and Bradshaw later in the show, but I want to know where you guys are watching from. Stand up, rep it. Shout out your city in the comment section right now. One of my favorite things about Chat Sports is we have fans and viewers and subscribers from all over the world, and same with Giants Now. We have people tuning in from coast to coast, from ocean to ocean. So let me know where you're watching from. I'll give you a shout out in the comment section. Timmy41 Tommy says, H-Town, ride or die. Let's go. 713-281-832. Stand up. My guy Will Scott out there. He covers the Dolphins and, of course, Boston Celtics today. He's from Houston as well. We got some Houston workers at Chat Sports, as well as my guy Jeremy Chuggs. Broken Chip says NC. Tommy says big Texas football. Nothing is better. There's no better football state than Texas. I know some people want to say Cali and Florida, but it's not even close. It's Texas, ride or die. Alzo, what up, man? Watching from Europe. PD, I don't know how to say that. You know I'm not good with this. Belgrade, Serbia? Belgrade, Serbia. Let's ride, Alzo. Real as they come. If there's a real one leaders club, Alzo, I'd put you in charge of being the president of the real ones. Cha says on the beach, it's hot out here. It is hot. It's hot everywhere you go. It's been like 100+ degrees in Dallas the past couple of days. King Wolf says always and has been from Bergen County, New Jersey. What up, man? Steve's watching from Israel. I told you, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Mike McCarthy's in the chat. He says, where champions come to die. Is he talking about the Dallas Cowboys? Because a lot of people come to the New York Giants and their career doesn't die. I also got you this question as well. What player are you most excited to watch this year for the New York Football Giants? Is it a rookie? Is it Saquon Barkley in the last year of his rookie contract? Is it Daniel Jones, who had his 5th-year option declined? There's a lot of names you could go with. Is it Kenny Golladay, who you want to see break out in year 2 with the Giants? Is it Kadarius Toney? Is it Evan Neal? Is it the rookie Dane Belton? I want to hear from you right now, and I'll give shout-outs, and we'll talk about every single one that rolls in. What player are you most excited to watch this year? For me, I'm going to give the easy answer, Daniel Jones, because you're only as good as the guy under center, and DJ is that guy for the New York Football Giants. This is his last chance to prove to himself, to me, to you, to John Mara, to to Brian Daboll, to Joe Shane, to Shea Tierney, to everybody involved with the decision-making process of the New York Giants. It's Jones' last chance to prove to them that he can be a good quarterback in the National Football League. I love Brian Daboll. Do I think he's going to make Daniel Jones the next Josh Allen? No, but I do believe if there's anyone in the NFL that can get the most out of Daniel Jones, it's Brian Daboll. And I'm not sure even if the best Daniel Jones is good enough for someone to build around. Tommy says, can Eli win with this team? Because I know he's still ready to sling it. No, Eli Manning cannot win with this team. We saw what the end of Eli looked like. I'm the biggest Eli Manning fan in the world, but he's done. He's doing really good, though, on the ESPN broadcast with Peyton. He should keep doing that. King Wolf says Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas. Broken Chip says the whole team. Michael Krause says both players named KT. Yeah, Toney, Thibodeau, looking forward to them. Tommy says the Joker. Christopher says KG, Kenny Galladay. Rizzo says Saquon Barkley. I need him to have a big ear. I don't know about a big ear, but he has to have a big year. We are 67 days away from Giants football being back on your televisions. Back to tailgating, back to the best Sunday or the best time of the year. We're just 67 days away. And you know who probably the best Giant to ever wear? Number 67 is Kareem McKenzie, one of the best offensive linemen to ever wear big blue. I want everyone to type 67 because we're only 67 days away, and also to show Kareem McKenzie some love. 67 days away, he also wore the number. So type 67 in the comment section right now. King Wolf's typing 67. Cha's typing 67. Alzo, he's got some emojis in the chat. It looks like a map and then a thumbs up. Let's ride. 67 days away. I cannot wait. I am ready for Sundays to be back where the Giants are playing. Those are the best Sundays in the world. And look, my happiness depends on how good the Giants are. So I'm hoping they're good so I can be happy come this fall. Another question for you guys. How many games will the Giants win this year? The Vegas over-under total last time I checked, which was last week, was 7.5. I'm going to check right now. 7.5 is I think a great number to start at. Let's see. It's down to 7 now. This is from 7 days ago from the line. So 7, this site says 7.5. So 7.5 is the over-under. Are you going over? Are you going over? Under? Right now, my producer is telling me under for under because he's a Bears fan and he's a cop. He's just salty that we got Evan Neal and he's stuck with Bustin Fields. So I'm just kidding. I think Justin Fields is going to be a good quarterback. Michael says 7.5. When I did our record prediction video, I think I had 9 wins, but that was best case scenario for the Giants. Right now, they have the easiest schedule based off a 2022 win total set by Vegas. So who knows? Anything can happen. You know what can happen? You can also get your identity stolen. And that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Someone hacked into my debit card and started spending all types of cheddar in Oregon at some jewelry store. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't hooked up with Aura, but I got hooked up, and none of that has happened since. Get started with them with a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. An all-in-one digital safety tool for the whole family. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones online, because the worst thing that can happen is getting your identity stolen. Then you got to call the bank, and then you got to call this person, and you got to wait for the money to be put back into your account after a long investigation. It sucks. It happened to me. I don't want it to happen to you. So get started today with Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool for the whole family. 14 days for free, no charge, that you can cancel at any time. Aura.com/chatsports. If you're ready for the show, or you just hate the Dallas Cowboys, I want you to go down right now and like this video. Look, not a lot of people watching right now. It's July. It's not even training camp time. Only the real ones are watching, so I want the real ones right now to hit that like button. Look, I'm ready to talk about the Giants. I'm ready for this to happen. My guy Christian Vanderfeen's in the chat. Let's roll. If you hate the Cowboys, like this video so we can get today's show rolling. And we're going to start off the show with the mailbag, where I'll be answering your guys' questions live. If you got a question, use hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats are guaranteed to get on the show. We'll also be taking some shots for any Supers that roll in. So if you're ready for the show, like the video, and also use hashtag Giants in the comments section right now so our software can pick up your question. We need some questions. Questions are low, my guy Matthew Peterson tells me. So let's roll. We got about 3 in there for each, Petey, so if I have to go long on those, let me know. Just give me some time updates. I don't see any questions in the comments section right now. Alzo, King Wolf, Vandy, Michael, Fred, I'm challenging you right now to get your questions in right now. Just use hashtag Giants. Unmute yourself. Let's do it. My guy Matthew Peterson pushing the 1s and 2s to make today's show happen. He has a question.
All right, here's my question. Are the Panthers with Baker better than the Giants with Jones?
It's a good question. That is a great question. I would say they're even, and I think they play week 2, right? Is it week 2 they play? Let me pull up the schedule because I'm sure someone will ask me about it. But I think they're even. I think Mayfield is better than Darnold, but I'm not sure Mayfield is a needle pusher at all. Look, we'll find out week 2. Like we said, they play week 2 in New Jersey. Let me get this schedule up. I'm sure someone's going to ask about it. We got it. All right. Seeps is in the comments. Let's roll. Someone asked me a damn question. We got a couple of them. Let me, hold on. Sorry, I saw a breaking tweet from Jordan Renan, but it was just him hyping up his own broadcast. Yeah, Jordan, no one cares about that. That's why we're watching this show. Let me look at something real quick, PD. Yeah. So Q&A 1 is Aura, then Rumble, and the next one's Rumble too. Let me just fix that real quick. List 5. Alrighty. Hashtag Giants. Let me know. I see Vandy's got a question in there. Christopher King, Patrick, King Wolf. If you got a question, we're going to talk about it right now. Let's do it. We got it. All right. Petey, I'm ready when you are. Here we go. Giants mailbag right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we've got a mailbag, a Giants Rumors mailbag coming up for you in a second. But first, I want to tell you about our presenting sponsor, Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool that's helping you stay protected as well as your family members online, because we do more online now than ever. You can get started today with a 14-day free trial at aura.com/chatsports. We'll break them down more so later in the show, and I'll have the link to that in the comment section and description of this video. To start off the mailbag, my guy Christopher King, what's up, man? Who is the Giants' X factor to you this year? This is a great question, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll give one for offense and one for defense. On the offensive side of the ball, Kadarius Toney. I believe that Toney has the potential to be a legit wide receiver 1 in the National Football League. That's why he was selected in the first round. We saw the potential when he was playing against the Dallas Cowboys with Mike Glennon under center, where he had 10 catches for almost 200 yards. If he can cement himself and show that he can be a legit wide receiver 1, that has to be the focal point for every defensive coordinator to stop when the Giants come into town. That would elevate this offense from being a below average offense to, in my opinion, to being above average. Anytime you can add someone like Toney, that's a dynamic player with the football in his hands, someone that puts the fear of God in the heart of defensive coordinators, that's going to make your offense better. And on the defensive side of the ball, he's kind of a big name for sure. But what about Leonard Williams? We've seen him have some big years with the Giants. We've also seen him at some games look invisible. If this Giants defense wants to be one of the best in the NFL, which I think in my opinion has the potential to be a top half of the league defense, if Leonard Williams gives you that season he had before he signed that massive extension where he had 10, 11 sacks, this defense will be one to feared with. So on offense, I'll give you Kadarius Toney, and on the defensive end, I'll say Leonard Williams. Appreciate your question, Christopher. Alberto, what's up, man? Should the Giants bring back Landon Collins? That's pretty funny. Landon Collins, yes, he's still a free agent. It didn't work out with him with Washington. He had a couple of injuries pop up. Look, he was a good football player at one point. He was good with the football team, for a couple of years. He was great with the Giants when he was there, but he's really not that football player anymore. This past season, played in just 13 games total, had 81 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Before that, played just 7 games. Before that, 15 games, then 2018 was his last season with the Giants. I like Landon Collins for what he is at this point. He's a safety that plays linebacker and doesn't want to be labeled as a linebacker. So I don't really think he fits in this Giants secondary at the safety spot because McKinney's going to start. Julian Love is going to start. Dane Belton has a lot of potential. And Williams is someone that the Giants moved from corner to safety that they're really high on. So the idea of bringing back Landon Collins, it sounds good. It sounds fun because it's always fun to bring back someone that once played for your team. And Landon Collins was a captain and a great player when he played for the Giants. But sometimes as fans, we got to leave the past in the past. And that's what I think should happen with Landon Collins. I would go down and type P for pass. I don't think they should go out and sign him. Really doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't offer you anything on special teams. I'm sure he's going to want more than the veteran minimum. And I don't really want him taking away reps from a guy like Love or Dane Belton. But look, I want to give you an opportunity to let me know how you're feeling. Maybe I'm wrong. Educate me. Should the Giants sign Landon Collins? Type S for sign, or you can go down and type P for pass. George, what up, bro? What could we get from Cleveland if we sent them Tyrod Taylor? A bag of chips. I don't really think the Cleveland Browns at this point are interested in Tyrod Taylor. They have Jacoby Brissett going to be their emergency quarterback if Deshaun Watson gets suspended. They gave Brissett a decent contract in free agency. I think they're all ready for him to be the guy under center if Deshaun Watson gets suspended. With Baker Mayfield just being traded, maybe that had you asking this question, but Jacoby Brissett is the guy that they're going to roll with, and he's been good at some points throughout his NFL career. Was okay with the Miami Dolphins, most notably known for what he did with the Indianapolis Colts. What was it, 3 years ago, Petey, where he was okay with the Colts in 2019? Thank you. I don't think it makes much sense. Do you think the Browns should trade? No, yes, our Browns host, he's in the room with me. He doesn't think it. He's already been a Cleveland Brown and Tyrod Taylor, So no, I don't think the Browns would be interested, and I don't even think they'd give up that many assets because they don't have any. But look, speaking of the Browns and Tyrod Taylor and the Browns maybe needing a backup quarterback, what I don't want to happen is our Browns Report channel here at Chat Sports to get to 10,000 subscribers before Giants Now does. Because look, that channel is picking up some steam. They just traded Baker. The Deshaun Watson situation has that channel on fire right now. We used to be like 500 subs above them. Now it's, I'm bad at math, less than 300. And we're less than 230 subs away from getting to 10,000. If you love the Giants and you like what we do on this channel, or if you're new to this channel, we put videos out every single day on the latest Giants news and rumors. So help us get to 10K. We're doing it for Eli Manning. Go down right now and hit that big red button. Christian Vanderfeen, Vandy, my brother, what's up, man? Do the Giants have the personnel to run Wink's defense? Interested to see what it might look like. I think they do. What they have, I think, is really unique. You got 2 young edge rushers in Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau. And then on the interior defensive line, you have Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. That's 4 big-time building blocks you have on that front 4. I'm a little curious to see how Blake Martinez and a guy like Tay Crowder plays as well. I think Martinez could be better this year because he's going to be more of a blitzing role. We know Wink Martindale loves to bring the house with the casino blitzes and all the sexy and erotic different schemes he brings to defense. Martinez is a good pass rusher from the middle linebacker spot. I'm just concerned about the cornerback room because he likes to blitz a lot, play man coverage, and not have a lot of safety top over the help. And with Adoree Jackson being the only proven cornerback on this roster, I am a little bit concerned. There's some guys that have an opportunity to prove themselves, and Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Cordell Flott, Rodarius Williams, all those guys, I think they have the personnel. I just want to see more from this cornerback room in the coming weeks. And as soon as Giants football gets here, we'll know if they have enough to make it work. I appreciate your question, Vandy. I told you about Aura at the top of today's show. Now let's break it down because you do more online now than ever, and Aura does more to keep you safe. So start a free trial at aura.com/chatsports, an all-in-one digital safety tool for the whole family. They offer plans to protect you and 5 family members. I had my debit card hacked into. Don't be a loser like me. Get hooked up with Aura. Aura.com/chatsports, and they will start you off with a 14-day free trial that you can cancel at any time, 0 charge. One more time, Aura.com/chatsports. I'll have the link to that in the comment section and description of this video. Ronnie H. Is that Ronnie Harrison after he got mossed by David Tyree? Who do you think will be the starting left guard? This is probably the biggest question remaining on the Giants depth chart. And there's a lot of guys that can fall into that spot. It sounds like right now Shane Lemieux has been getting the first team offensive reps throughout Giants minicamp and Giants OTAs. But there's guys that could compete there. And Max Garcia, who they signed in NFL free agency from the Arizona Cardinals. Or Joshua Azudu, who you selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. In a perfect world, I would like to see Josh Azudu get those reps because he's a rookie and he was a top 100 pick and he was a 3rd round draft pick. You need those guys to produce immediately. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Shane Lemieux because he's spent some time with the Giants. He was actually heavily scouted by Bobby Johnson and Brian Daboll when they were with the Buffalo Bills. They liked him a lot, and they told him they were going to draft him. The thing is, the Giants made it happen first. So I want to ask you this question. I think there's 3 guys competing for this spot. Shane Lemieux, Max Garcia, and Joshua Azudu. Garcia's been running with the 3rd team. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut, to be honest with you. I think he only really has a spot as a backup center. And who knows who's going to have that job. But I'll ask you this question, and then we'll get to more questions. Who do you think should start or will start at the left guard spot? Type 66 for Shane Lemieux, 72 for Max Garcia, or 75 for the Rook, Joshua Azudu. Alzo, what up, man? Is this new staff regime going to get us ready from the get-go? Week 1, they better. Remember the embarrassment versus the Broncos in 21? Yeah, last year, week 1, I thought the Broncos would be a very winnable game with Teddy Bridgewater and Bradley Chubb didn't even play. He probably should have been thrown in prison for what he did for not playing week 1. Just kidding, it wasn't that serious. It was just an inside joke between me and our Broncos. So, yeah, the traffic violation should have locked him up just for week 1. But I damn sure hope so, Alzo, because I can't remember the last time the Giants won a week 1 game. They need to come out fast. I am a little concerned because with a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new head coach, new GM, maybe it might take some time for the Giants to find their groove. But speaking from a fan, I damn sure hope that they do. But speaking from a realist, I think there's a good opportunity because I think this is the best head coach the Giants have had since Tom Coughlin. Brian Daboll, he's smart, he's efficient, and he's a forward thinker, and he's a progressive thinker. He doesn't think like any offensive coaches or head coaches we've had since Tom Coughlin. I want him to get it right. I have trust in him, and I'm hoping he can get it right in week 1. It's going to be a tough game versus the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry's going to be tough to stop, but I'm not a big fan of Ryan Tannehill, and if the dogs get unleashed and Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon Thibodeau, Leonard Williams, Quincy Roche, sexy Dexter Lawrence, I think there's a chance that the Titans could take an L week 1 and the Giants walk away with the dub. Appreciate your question, Alzo. Sandman34. Yo! The Giants could use Julio Jones. All of our wide receivers are hurt. Hashtag Giants. So I'll break this down kind of piece by piece. The Giants, they have had a lot of players at the receiver spot been hurt the past couple of years. And through the offseason, a lot of them haven't participated, especially the big names. And Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Sterling Shepard. They have all been wearing red non-contact practice jerseys throughout the NFL offseason. So you only really have Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, C.J. Board, and Richie James. And I don't think Darius Slayton is going to make this roster. I think the Giants keep 6 receivers. And Golladay, Shepard, Toney, Robinson, C.J. Board, a special team specialist, and Richie James. But let's talk about Julio Jones. Because we know him as one of the best receivers to ever touch the gridiron when he was with the Atlanta Falcons. But he hasn't really been that as of late. 2018, he was awesome. 2019, he was awesome. 2020, that's when he started to fall off a cliff a little bit. And then the injuries started to catch up. And he missed 7 games in 2021, where he had just 31 receptions, 434 yards, and 1 touchdown. As great as he is, and has all the abilities that he brings, The best ability is availability. And if he's going to be hurt, he's just going to join a crew of hurt receivers that the Giants already have in Galladay, Shepard, and Toney. And we don't need anybody else out there eating up salary cap money that's not going to be healthy. In a nutshell, if injuries could be turned off, and I know he's going to play 17 games, I would love for the Giants to go out and sign Julio Jones. But we got to think about the reality. He hasn't played 17 games or 16 games in quite some time. He didn't look good last year with the Titans. Could that be Ryan Tannehill's fault? Maybe. Probably is. The guy was a receiver in college. But I just think we need to let the young guys get the reps. Let the people that need to improve get those reps and do that. So I'll ask this question, and then we'll bounce out of here. Should the Giants sign Julio Jones? Type Y for yes, or you can go down and type N for no. We know Julio Jones is a great football player. But is he anymore? I don't think he is either. I think Julio Jones, I don't want to say washed at this point, but he's no longer the guy that's going to be the guy every single week. Petey, chime in.
Yeah, I feel like Julio's going to sign mid-training camp when someone gets hurt and a team's like, all right, we'll take a chance on you.
I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. There's some teams I don't want him to go to, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have been rumored and linked like they are to every single free agent. But who knows? They're light on wide receivers. Michael Gallup's not going to play the first couple of games, and right now their second wide receiver is Jalen Tolbert. And you got guys like Noah Brown. So if it means we got to sign him to keep him away from the Cowboys, then maybe I'd be down, but who knows? Lions Talk with Micro Mike, a legend. What up, man? If you enjoy looking for gold at the bottom of a porta potty, then go subscribe to Giants Now by Chat Sports. This guy gets it. Holy Toledo, that was awesome. Micro Mike, we're trying to get to 10,000 subs. Tutu's back in the chat as well. All righty, let's get the shots going. Saluti Marshy dropped by your office to pay our proper respects, and for all Giants fans around the world, slap all stinky boys, losers. I forget about it. Oh, Tutu, every Wednesday I wake up and I say, is Tutu going to be in the chat today? And here he is. The time of his life. Oh, Tutu, man, you make my day. I hope you appreciate my content as much as I appreciate your comments. All right, shot number one, down the hatch. Let's roll. That's fiery, if you know what I'm saying. Shot number two. Tutu, I will say, you're a legend in the Chat Sports offices. We talk about Tutu all the time. All right, but we got a segment coming up. Some rumors around some running backs. And then at the tail end of that segment, ESPN and Pro Football Focus, they teamed up to rank the Giants roster. And they were pretty disrespectful. So we'll break that down. Let me get this one out of the way. Whew. That's spicy. Tastes like Christmas. Is that onion? Onion? I can taste it. Now the tuxedo t-shirts seem kind of effed up. Alrighty. Let's do it. Let me get some shout-outs. Christopher, Tommy, Lions Talk with Micro Mike, Fred Green, Mr. NY Stadium. I was wondering when you were going to join the party. Tommy, Rizzo, Lil T-Dog, Tutu. Let's roll. Let's talk about the latest Giants news and rumors right now. Here on Giants Now in the month of July, I want to start kind of a new segment, the Versus Challenge. July, it's all about competition, and we're going to start a couple shows this month with questions like this. I want to ask this. Who was a better running back for the New York Football Giants when they were wearing big blue? Was it Brandon Jacobs? Was it Ahmad Bradshaw? Type 27 if you're rolling with Brandon Jacobs, or you can go down in the comment section and type 44 for Ahmad Bradshaw. Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, as always, and in today's show, we're going to break down the latest news and rumors surrounding the New York Football Giants. There's a rumor that the Giants should go out and sign a running back, but at the tail end of the show, which I think is a little bit more juicy and you guys should stay tuned for, ESPN and Pro Football Focus, they collabed to break down the Giants roster. They ranked the roster from 1 to 32 in terms of respect to the rest of the teams in the NFL. Then they listed out their biggest weakness, strength, and X factor. So we'll break all that down. But first, the latest rumors surrounding him, the Giants. David Johnson, shout out to Bleacher Report. They put out an article that highlighted one move that every single team in the NFL should make, and for Big Blue, it was signing David Johnson. Johnson, he's 30 years old at this point in his career, played 13 games last year for the Houston Texans, and he was okay. Nothing great. He's nowhere near that player he was with Arizona early on in his career. He's also part of arguably the worst trade in NFL history. Him for DeAndre Hopkins. Bill O'Brien and his butt chin is still not recovering from that one. But the question I have when it comes to Johnson signing with the Giants, do the Giants need to sign another running back? Do they need to add another running back to this depth chart? We'll take a look at that in a second. But this is what Bleacher Report had to say when they expanded on their thoughts about the Giants signing David Johnson. They said Johnson proved he can be a solid contributor as part of a running back rotation. As such, some interest continues to percolate around the league. Johnson already visited the New Orleans Saints earlier this offseason. For the Giants, the team should hedge a bit regarding Saquon Barkley's future. His injury history alone makes depth at that position a necessity. The 2018 second overall pick hasn't played a full season since his rookie campaign, thanks to ankle issues and a torn ACL. Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell Jr., and Antonio Williams are projected as New York's running back depth. Breida bounced between 3 teams over the last 3 seasons, while Brightwell and Williams have a combined 12 career rushing attempts. When I think about this as a whole, it really doesn't make all that much sense to me. I like what the Giants have in the running back room. They've already committed some assets to that area, drafting Gary Brightwell last year in the 5th round. I know that was a Dave Gettleman pick, so that pick could easily be moved on from. I like Jashaun Corbin. I want to see what he can do in preseason as a UDFA. I'm sure at this point he might be as good as a guy like David Johnson. But does it make sense for the Giants to go out and get him? Saquon Barkley, we know, is going to be running back 1. Matt Breida, he's going to be RB2. I think you're going to see Barkley and Breida play on the field a good bit together with Saquon bounced outside. Then you have Brightwell, Corbin, and Antonio Williams fighting for that 3rd running back spot. Maybe they keep 4, but I think they keep 3. So let's talk about what David Johnson is as a football player at this point, because that's why the Giants should sign him, for no other reason. What he can bring. And last year, he didn't really bring all that much. Played 13 games for the Texans, 67 carries, 228 yards, 0 touchdowns on the ground, just 3.4 yards per tote. His fall off has been really fast. 2018, he was solid. Then it fell off a cliff. 2019, no good. 2020, no good. 6 rushing touchdowns. He was okay in 2020. But in 2021, he showed that he is not a good running back anymore. He's 30, he's bounced around, and he'd be competing for a roster spot. So from my point of view, it really doesn't make that much sense. I want to see what Breida can do in the Daboll offense. I want to see if Gary Brightwell has anything to give in preseason. Antonio Williams, same with him. And Jashaun Corbin deserves a chance to make this roster and be a contributor. So should the Giants sign David Johnson? Type S for sign, or you can go down and type P for pass. Here at Chat Sports, it is a race to 10,000 subscribers. Our Cleveland Browns channel, the Browns Report, they're at almost 9.5 thousand subs. And Giants now, we're almost at 9.8 thousand. But I want to guarantee that we don't lose this race. Because me and Matthew Peterson, who hosts Browns Now, we have a $500 bet on the line to who's going to get to 10,000 subscribers first. And I'm going to need a lot more super chat and super thanks if I lose this bet. I don't want to come off the money, and I believed in you guys. So if you love the Giants and you want free daily Giants videos and you don't want me to lose the bet, go down right now and hit that big red button. Story number 2 on today's show. ESPN and Pro Football Focus, they rated the New York Giants roster, and they collabed on an article where they listed every team's biggest strength, weakness, and X factor, and they were extremely disrespectful to Big Blue. They ranked the Giants roster as the 26th best in the NFL. I'm bad at math, but there's only 32 teams in the NFL. So they rank them as one of the worst rosters in the NFL. They used a lot of analytics to find this out. They looked at PFF grades and some ESPN metrics. So this was all on the data that has been put out there. So it's hard to judge what the rookies will bring. And Evan Neal, and Kayvon Thibodeau, and Wan'Dale Robinson, and Azudu, and Cordell Flott, and Bellinger, and all of those guys. So I think that they're off. I think the Giants have improved their roster very much so from what they were at the end of last year. 26 to end last year makes a lot of sense. But right now, with Daboll and Shane and Martindale and all the new acquisitions, I don't think 26 is fair, and I think it's bullshit, to be honest with you. So I want you, the guys that actually know Giants football, that watch it and bleed Giants blue, I'm challenging you right now to rank where the Giants roster is in the NFL. Scale it from 1 to 32. 1 being they're the best roster in the NFL, 32 being the worst. I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. I'll be down there reading and reacting to all of it. The biggest strength that ESPN and Pro Football Focus decided what that was for the New York Giants is their defensive line. And I completely agree. When you look at what the Giants have on the defensive line, that's where they have the most talent on this roster, and that's where they've spent the most assets. When you have someone like Leonard Williams, who's a big-time player, makes a lot of money, he needs to be great this year. Kayvon Thibodeau, does anything else need to be said? Number 5 overall pick, might be one of the best Giants pass rushers ever if he lives up to the hype. Azeez Ojulari was great as a rookie. Quincy Roche, he's a good third piece as your edge rusher. Ellerson Smith, he was a 5th round or 4th round draft pick back in 2021. So this front 5 has potential. And if they're going to be great this year, it depends on these 3 guys. Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, as well as Kayvon Thibodeau. 4 guys. But only 3 of them have played in the NFL before. So let's look at what they did last year. Azeez, in his rookie season, was really good. 50 tackles, 8 sacks, 8 tackles for loss. Leonard Williams was good as well. 82, 6.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. And Dexter Lawrence, he was great against the run like he always was. 2.5 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. Those 3 guys, paired with Kayvon Thibodeau, need to lead this team. It's been a long time since the heartbeat and the most talent and the most skill from any position group was the defensive line. But that's where the Giants have made their money. That's where their bread has been buttered. The backbone of the New York Giants franchise history is defensive line and pass rush. And this year, I think they're finally getting back to that. I want to see what they can do in this Martindale system. He's going to blitz the house. He's going to have to try to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL at generating pressure. He has the dogs to do it. Create sacks, create opportunities. Because this defensive backfield doesn't have a lot of talent, doesn't have a lot of proven players, so it's going to rely on creating pressure. And hopefully these 3 guys are leading the charge. And Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, and Kayvon Thibodeau. But I'll ask this question. Who has the most sacks in their rookie in this year of these 3 guys? Is it Leonard Williams, type 99? Is it Azeez Ojulari, type 51? Or if you think it's the rook, King K. Kayvon Thibodeau, type number 5. I also want to suggest you guys to show us some love and follow us over on Rumble. Rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Rumble is just like YouTube, except a little edgier and uncut. And we're posting Giants videos over there every single day. And here at Chat Sports, where we have like 26 channels over on Rumble, Giants now is ranked 3rd. And I'm trying to catch the Cleveland Browns report. So help us do that. Follow us, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. The biggest weakness, according to ESPN and Pro Football Focus, was the secondary. And I also agree with this. So I think ESPN and Pro Football Focus are 2 for 2 in that regard. They expanded how they felt about it and said this in the write-up. They said New York's once deep secondary has thinned considerably over the past year. 2 important veteran starters from last year's group are gone in James Bradbury and Logan Ryan. Safety Jabril Peppers is also elsewhere. That probably will push second-year cornerback Aaron Jones to the outside as the favorite to replace Bradbury. Robinson earned a 58.4 Pro Football Focus coverage grade and 170 coverage snaps as a rookie while splitting time between the slot and outside. Rookie safety Dane Belton also will have an opportunity to earn a starting job in a thin group. I feel better about the Giants' safety room than their cornerback room. I believe Xavier McKinney is going to step up this year. Could be an all-pro type of player. Go back and watch what he did against the Las Vegas Raiders this past year. He looks like the best player on the field at times, and he's going to have to be. Because in a group where he's met with Julian Love and Jaron Williams and Dane Belton, they don't have much experience. They don't have much playing time under their belt. He's going to have to be a leader. He's going to have to be a captain. He's going to be asked to do more in this Martindale system. So I trust him to carry that safety room. But it's the cornerback room that I have real concerns about. I like Adoree Jackson. Is he ready to be a number one corner for all 17 games? Can he stay healthy for 17 games? I'm not sure. I like Aaron Robinson, but I'm not ready for him to be a starting outside corner. I like him in the slot. I think he's versatile, but I like him more in the slot than on the outside. Then you have young guys like Darnay Holmes, Rodarius Williams, and Cordell Flata who haven't really proved anything in the NFL. I am a little bit concerned about this secondary room. I trust the safeties, but I am concerned about the cornerback room. They have the talent and the bodies to be good, but they have to prove it to me because I haven't seen it yet from anybody in the National Football League on this stage. They also broke down the biggest X factor, they being ESPN and Pro Football Focus, and they listed Kadarius Toney. And I'm going to be honest, I agree with all three things they said. I think the biggest strength is the D-line. I think the biggest weakness is the corners. I think the biggest X factor is Kadarius Toney. We know Toney had a struggled or a rocky, I think is a good way to describe it, a rocky rookie year. Played in just 10 games. Dealt with some injuries. Didn't score a touchdown. 420 yards. Nice. Smoke one to that. 39 receptions. 57 targets. Had some big games. But it was injuries and Jason Garrett that got in the way of Kadarius Toney showing what he can really be in the National Football League. This was the write-up that ESPN and Pro Football Focus had to say about Toney. They said when he was on the field as a rookie last season, he looked like the dynamic playmaker the Giants drafted him in the first round to be. He was one of just 15 wide receivers in the league to average over 2 receiving yards per route run on at least 100 routes. The issue seems to be him staying on the field. Toney sat out OTAs following a minor arthroscopic surgery that he had on a knee this offseason. And it's the availability, because the ability is all there for Toney, but it's the availability. Last year, he was hurt, missed 7 games, got dinged up and nicked up, and he had to miss some time in some of these games. But I blame a lot of the lack of production he had on Jason Garrett, who was calling the plays, because there's no reason that Kadarius Toney should have played 8 snaps in week 1, 28 snaps in week 2, 8 snaps against the Rams where he was dinged up. He needs to be at about like he was in the Saints game, playing 78% of the snaps. He needs to be on the football field at all times, because when he is, defensive coordinators are scared of what he can do with the football in his hands. I will say this. Kadarius Toney can change the immediate future of this offense more than anybody on this roster. If Toney steps up into that role of being a wide receiver 1, what he was drafted to be in the first round of last year's draft with the 20th overall pick, the Giants could be one of the best units on offense in the NFL, a top 7, top 10 unit with Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka. If Toney steps up into that wide receiver 1 role, if he could go for 75 catches, north of 1,100 yards, and 8 touchdowns, and be a guy that defensive coordinators have to plan for every single week, it'll make the life of Daniel Jones easier, Saquon Barkley easier, Kenny Golladay, Daniel Bellinger, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson. If Toney can step up into that number 1 role, he can change the fortune of this offense quicker than anybody else, in my opinion. And that is why I think, as well as ESPN and Pro Football Focus, that he is the biggest X factor on this team. 8 touchdowns, though, for Kadarius Toney. Over or under? That's how we'll end today's show with this question. Let's play a game. Over, under. Type O for over 8 touchdowns or U for under 8 touchdowns right now when it comes to Kadarius Toney. If Toney can just be someone that Daniel Jones can depend on and be that athlete with the ball in his hands, it's going to take this offense to another stratosphere, in my opinion, because they really have no game breakers. And if he's healthy, along with Saquon Barkley, that's going to put a lot of pressure on defenses that the Giants have to play this year. Christopher King's typing O for over. Michael's typing U for over. The Big Moo, what up, man? He says Flott will be a big surprise this year. I would love to see Cordell Flott be good this year. He also says Jason Garrett play calling was very conservative, 100%. He was calling plays from 1980. The Hammy says under with like 6 or 7. As long as he has more than 5 touchdowns this year, I'd consider it somewhat of a successful season. I think he can do better than that. I like him. After this season, I want to walk away from this season saying the Giants have their number 1 wide receiver in Kadarius Toney. And if that's the case, they won't have to go out and sign a big name. They can hold on to Galladay. They don't have to make a trade. Because you got to have a good receiver if you're going to, build with Daniel Jones or go draft another one. Lions Talk says, what up, Micro? All comes down to injuries. You guys stay healthy. You can be damn good. I hope you're right. And I want to believe that. But I've gone down that path too many times in my life, Micro. 2-2. What up, bro? Salute to Anthony Raza. What up, bro? Anthony Raza, one of the realest in the game. I think I saw him in the chat earlier. We did, Raza? Yeah. Anthony, if you got a question, go down and use hashtag Giant. 99 and 51 tied. If Leonard Williams and Azeez Ojulari are tied for sacks this year, I'd be cool with that because that means the Giants are getting home and they're getting after the passer. Thibodeau, Ojulari, and Leonard Williams, this might be the most talented threesome that we've seen at the pass rusher spot in a while. We're about to get into a Giants mailbag right now. Use hashtag Giants in the comments section to get your question up on screen. If we don't get enough questions, we'll just bounce on out of here and I'll go do my Knicks video because the Knicks channel, it's on fire. If you're a Knicks fan, go follow us. YouTube.com/Knicks TV. We're going for 5 straight 20K pieces. I will not become a Nets fan, Mark, because the Nets, they're cheeks. They're trading Durant. Should the Knicks trade for him? We'll talk about it later. But 2 mailbags. Use hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats get on screen like my guy Alzo did, or 2-2 did earlier. He's the MVP of the show. All Super Chats. I got to take 2 shots, and your questions are guaranteed to get up on screen. I'm getting a signal from my producer, so let's do it. Let's get into a Giants Rumors mailbag right now. We're about to get into a Giants Rumors mailbag, but first, I want to ask you to subscribe to Giants Now because we are on the cusp of getting to 10,000 subscribers. And so is the Cleveland Browns Report, another channel here by Chat Sports. And I have a bet with our host over there, Matthew Peterson, of who's going to get there first. And I don't want to lose, so help me out. I'm asking. I might be begging at this point. But if you love the Giants and you want free daily Giants videos every single day, go down right now and hit that big red button. What's going on, Giants fans? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we're about to get into a Giants Rumors mailbag, which aired on our live show every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe, turn your notifications on, and let's party, and let's see you next week at the Giants live show. This first question coming in from one of the real ones, my guy, Mr. NY Stadium. Do you think Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas will be the best O-line? Hashtag Giants. Best O-line in the NFL? No. Best tackle duo? I think they could be top 5, but they will be the best tackle duo the Giants have had in a really long time, since Kareem McKenzie and David Deal. And those teams where the Giants were intimidating, where they asserted their will against other teams. I think Neal and Andrew Thomas can bring that smash mouth type of football back to the Giants because you win on the trenches in the NFL. And the Giants haven't won there in a very long time. This is the first season I can remember since 2012 when the Giants were in the Super Bowl that the offensive line is not the biggest concern. And that is a breath of fresh air. I love Andrew Thomas. I love Evan Neal. I'm hoping they can be the Giants' bookend tackles for the next 12, 13, 14 years. Appreciate your question. DeAndre, should the Giants sign Jared Cook? We don't really have a vet tight end in the tight end room. We don't. Daniel Bellinger, a rookie, sounds like he's going to be the day 1 starter. Ricky Seals-Jones really hasn't shown anything so far through offseason activities. Jordan Akins is what he is. He's not really all that special. And here's the depth chart for you to look at. I think Bellinger's at tight end 1A. I think Ricky Seals is tight end 1B. And then Jordan Akins, I think, rolls in at tight end 3. Then you have an undrafted free agent in Austin Allen who's 6'9", 250 pounds. Not sure he makes this roster. I think the same goes for Christian Miriak. So let's break down if Jared Cook should be a guy the New York Giants should go after. I think if the Giants signed Cook, he would already be their best tight end on the roster. He's been all over the past couple of years, but when he's on the field, he's productive. 4 TDs, 7 TDs, 9 TDs, 6 TDs. He's a vet, and he could show young guys on this roster like Daniel Bellinger what it takes to make it in the NFL. I would go out and do it. If he's willing to come to the Giants on a 1-year veteran minimum contract, I don't see any reason why the Giants shouldn't go it. I get that we're all in on Bellinger being a stud, a rookie sensation, but are we willing to bet on that? We know that it's easy to look good in the summer, in shorts, in a t-shirt. But is he ready to be great all 17 games during his rookie season? I think he can be, but I think with the help of Jared Cook, that could be a good tight end 1, tight end 2 duo. I really do. Cook, he's older, he's a veteran, but he still has some juice left. And I think with Daboll and Kafak, the Giants could find the left that he has to produce in the NFL. I'll ask you this question. Pick a tight end. If you could only pick a tight end that you want to start for the Giants this year. We'll phrase it that way. Type JC for Jared Cook, or if you're rolling with the rookie, you can go down and type DB. Blake Wells, what's up, Brody? How many wins do you think the Giants will get this season? Great question. So let's run through the schedule. And Petey, be my counter. Week 1, that's going to be tough. That would be a surprise to me. Week 1 versus the Titans, I have it as an L. Week 2 against the Panthers, I think that can be a win. Week 4 against the Bears, I think that can be a win. Week 3 against the Cowboys, I don't know. Week 4 against the Packers, not feeling so good about it. Week 6 against the Ravens, no. But Week 7 against the Jags, yes. Week 8 against the Seahawks, yes. Week 9 against the Texans, yes. Week 10 against the Lions, yes. Week 11 versus the Cowboys, let's say we split. That one's on Thanksgiving. Washington, I think you split. Eagles, I think you split. And I think that's how it ends up. What's that at? 8 wins right there? 8 wins, and that's with a split throughout the NFC East. Maybe then you could beat the Vikings or the Colts. That would be tough at the end of the year. But I'll say 8 wins, and Vegas is right there with me. Their win total for the Giants is 7.5. If the Giants win more than 7.5 games, I would consider it as a successful football season. But is 8 wins and missing the playoffs enough for Daniel Jones to be re-signed, for the Giants to build around him? I don't think so. I think the Giants have to get to the playoffs for Daniel Jones to be back in 2023. And it's going to be an uphill battle for the Giants to do that, but it's the NFC East where absolutely anything can happen. Appreciate it, Blake. The Hammy, do you think the Giants will keep DJ if he plays average? No way. Daniel Jones is going to have to light the world on fire for the Giants to re-sign him. When you bring a new GM in, and Joe Shane, and a new head coach, and Brian Daboll, and you're inheriting a QB, and Daniel Jones, who Mara absolutely loves. The quote was, "We've done everything we can to have screwed this kid up." I would not feel like it's a reach to say that John Mara, made Joe Shane and Brian Daboll work with Daniel Jones this year. I would not be surprised if that's the case. So if he goes out and plays average, which I think that would result in the Giants not being a good football team and then missing the playoffs, I would 100% expect the Giants to move on and look at the draft, free agency, and trade options to replace Daniel Jones next year. Good question, though. Corey, what do you think about the Giants signing J.C. Tretter? If he is available before training camp opens, should they do it? I think it's really weird at this point that J.C. Tretter is still available. What is he, Petey? The president of the Players Association? He's the president of the NFLPA, and that might scare some teams away. And I understand that. But when you talk about just what he does on the gridiron and between the white lines, he's been one of the most consistent and best centers in the NFL for the past 3 or 4 years. He's a top 10 center in the NFL. Gave up 1 sack last year, 1 hit, just 8 QB hurries. A PFF grade of 75 when it comes to run blocking. If he was available in a couple of weeks when the Giants are set to open up training camp, I would sign him if it was for a 1-year veteran minimum deal. Because he is 100%, no doubt about it, a better football player than John Feliciano. I like Feliciano. I like the mentality he brings, the dirtbag swag that he rocks with. but he is a better football player. And emotions aside, we need to get the best 5 offensive linemen on the football field. And Tretter is better than Feliciano. Do I think the Giants ultimately go out and do it? No, because I think they're cool with Feliciano. But I don't want people thinking that Feliciano, with all the noise and sound and how much talking he's been doing this offseason, that he's an elite center. Because he's not. He's average at best, which might be better than what we're used to. But if I can go out and get J.C. Tretter, someone that's proven that he can be great, I would do it because I'm about building for now. Go get him. Sign J.C. Tretter. I'll ask you the question. Who would you do it? Pick a center to start. Type JT for J.C. Tretter or JF for John Feliciano. Here at Giants Now by Chat Sports, we are also posting daily Giants videos over on Rumble, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Rumble is just like YouTube, a video content creator app where you put out content, and we're putting our Giants content over there. And my favorite thing about Rumble is you can close out of the app and let the audio play while you're checking your Twitter timeline or responding to an email or texting a friend. On YouTube, you got to pay a premium fee to do that. So rock out with us over on Rumble, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. I'll have the link to that in the comments section and description of this video. Christopher King, bro. What's good, fam? How would you use Wan'Dale and Toney? I'd put them on the field at the exact same time. Just because they're similar and they do things well, that doesn't mean they can't play together. This offense is going to be something that the Giants haven't done, I think, ever in all of our time of being Giants fans. Expect to see a lot of shotgun 4 wide receiver sets. Let Toney and Wan'Dale rotate between the 2 slot positions, and then call Galladay and Shepard on the outside. You can also put Toney or Wan'Dale on the outside. Both those guys are generators with the football in their hands, and that's what we've heard Joe Shane, Daboll, and Kafak talk about. They want to get these playmakers out in the open space where they can run to green grass. And there's not too many people in the NFL that do that with the ball in their hands better than Wan'Dale and Toney. I will say this, though. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is a better deep receiver, a deep threat than Toney. So I think he could play more so on the outside than Toney. I also could see them both in the slot. Remember Daniel Jones' rookie year? He was so effective at throwing that slot fade where the receiver was in the slot and they'd run a fade, bending it to the sideline, where Golden Tate would catch that ball, where Darius Slayton would catch that ball, where there would be zero separation. Now you got Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson to do that. I'm really excited to see what they can do together. I want to see them play together because it could be absolutely fireworks. Appreciate it, Christopher. PD 365. Giants should sign Todd. Is this a joke? Todd Gurley? Really? The guy that didn't even play in the NFL last year? Come on, guys. The Giants are good at the running back spot. I'm cool with Saquon Barkley. I'm good with Matt Breida. I'm good with Ja'Shawn Corbin and Gary Brightwell and Antonio Williams. I get maybe because you want a power back like you said, and that's really all he is at this point. Back in 2020, his last season in the NFL, he did have 9 touchdowns. But he also averaged 3.5 yards per pop when he got a carry. There's no reason for the Giants to go out and get Todd Gurley, in my opinion. If you're looking for a power back, try out Gary Brightwell on the goal line. Try out Ja'Shawn Corbin. Or try out the guy that you picked number 2 overall in the NFL draft back in 2018. Saquon Barkley should get every chance in the book this year to show that he is the guy. He may not be a power back that lowers his head, but we've seen him be a good goal line back where he can jump over the top and reach the ball out. You are good at running back, in my opinion. You don't need to go out and sign someone else. And the last guy that you should be going out and thinking that you should want to go and sign is Todd Gurley. Was he great? Yes. He was almost an MVP one year. He may have won it one year. Was really, really close to winning it. But those days are behind him. His knees are nowhere close to being what they used to be. He was great with the Rams. He was awesome at Georgia. He had 9 touchdowns with the Falcons, but he's not a productive running back anymore, especially after not playing in 2021. I appreciate your question, but now I'll ask you the same question that you asked me, and I want all Giants fans to answer. Should the Giants sign Todd Gurley? Type S for sign, or you can go down and type P for pass. What a question to end today's show. Todd Gurley. Yeah, no. Todd Gurley. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in to Giants Now. Mr. NY Stadium says no. He's smart. He knows. You don't go sign Todd Gurley. Rock out with Saquon. I agree with Tommy. Breida will be great. Marshall, I think the Giants should push for a Darius Slayton trade for Will Fuller. The Giants have been shopping Darius Slayton. If they can find a trade, they would do it. But Will Fuller's a free agent, so there wouldn't have to be a trade there. If they wanted to go out and sign him, they could. But Will Fuller has missed like 50 games in his NFL career. I'm sick of injured receivers. I'm good on signing Will Fuller. I appreciate your question, though. Will the Giants have more wins than the Jets? Yes. Catherine says P. I agree with you. We're pushing P today. A lot of people are typing P. NY, man, my guy, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Well, that's it. I think that's everybody. All the soups are in. 2-2. I appreciate the soup. Or did another one roll in? I think it did. Did we show 2 for 2-2? Because it's saying 14. 2-2, another soup. He brings it every week. That's my guy. Fred says pass. I agree with you. We got another super chat. Marshy, please make it an official announcement on your live show. Here it is. We'll be at the Link, December 11th, Giants game. All Boyd's losers pull up and show up or shut the hell up. Let's ride. Chugs, come take a shot with me. Let's roll. I'll go. You go straight from the bottle. I'll take one. 2-2, this is for you. 2-2, you know what's funny? Let's get my guy Jeremy Chugs here. We went to college together. He actually coined the nickname Marshy. Let him know where that came from.
So one day I just called them Marshy, and it kind of just stuck. It's just one of those things. Just like Super Bowl, World Series. Like it's like one of those things where it's like once you say it, it's right.
And that's where Marshy came from. 2-2. Today's super chat MVP for another 15 bones. Shout out to you and your rugby squad. Let's go.
Woo! Okay.
We'll see y'all later. Let's roll.